Let me tell you something powerful today. Your life is a reflection of your thoughts. Whatever dominates your mind will eventually shape your reality. You cannot have a positive life with a negative mindset. You cannot expect success while feeding your mind with doubt, fear, and insecurity. The very foundation of transformation starts right here in your mind. Your life mirrors your dominant thoughts. Change your mindset and your life will follow. That statement might sound simple, but it's one of the deepest truths you'll ever learn. Every single thing you experience, every opportunity, every relationship, every failure and success, they are all tied to the way you think. You cannot live a positive life while thinking negative thoughts. It's like planting apple seeds and expecting oranges to grow. It just doesn't work that way. The energy you put out through your thoughts is exactly what life gives you back. If you constantly think about what's missing, what's broken, and what's wrong, you'll keep attracting more of that. But the moment you shift your focus to what's good, what's possible, and what's coming, you begin to see the blessings that were waiting for your faith to catch up. When you change your mindset, your whole world begins to rearrange itself to match that new belief system. Think about your thoughts influence your emotions. Your emotions influence your actions, and your actions shape your results. So if your thoughts are filled with fear and doubt, your actions will reflect hesitation and insecurity. But when your thoughts are filled with confidence, gratitude, and hope, you start moving differently. You walk taller, you speak stronger, and you attract people and situations that match that energy. That's not luck. That's the law of attraction working through the power of mindset. I've seen people stay stuck in the same place for years, not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they've convinced themselves that they can't rise higher. They've built mental walls that keep them trapped. Your life can't go where your mind doesn't allow it to. You can't think small and live big. You can't dwell in defeat and expect to experience victory. Every great transformation begins with a shift in thought. The moment you start saying, I can, instead of I can, I will, instead of I wish, everything begins to move in your favor. I'm not saying changing your mindset is easy. The mind has habits, and just like any other habit, it takes repetition to break free from negativity. You've been thinking a certain way for years, maybe even decades, and those thought patterns have created a certain life for you. But the beauty of it is that you can start changing right now, this very moment, how your mind shapes your future. You can start choosing better thoughts. Thoughts of abundance, love, peace, and purpose. And when you do, you'll start to notice small shifts that lead to major change. You might begin to feel lighter, more hopeful. You might start seeing opportunities that were always there, but your old mindset couldn't recognize them. You'll start attracting better people, better energy, and better outcomes because life isn't happening to you, it's responding to you. Every time you think a thought, you're sending out a signal. If that signal is filled with doubt, frustration, and worry, life echoes that energy back to you. But when your signal is faith, gratitude, and vision, life starts to send those same things back your way. You have to understand that your thoughts are creative forces. The moment you think something and believe it, you begin to give it life. That's why it's so important to guard your mind like treasure. Don't let every negative thing people say about you live rentree in your head. Don't let the mistakes of your past control your mental space. Your mindset determines whether you stay a victim or become a victor. You can't always change what's around you, but you can always change what's within you. When you begin to take control of your thoughts, you start stepping into the driver's seat of your destiny. You stop reacting to life and start creating it. You stop letting other people's opinions define you and start defining yourself. Your outer life is just a reflection of your inner thoughts. So, if you want your world to change, don't wait for circumstances. Change your mindset. Because when your mind believes your actions align and your life transformed, that's the real power of thought. It's the starting point of every breakthrough, every success story, and every miracle that's ever happened. Change your thoughts, and you'll change everything. You may not control your circumstances, but you can always control your response through thought. Life will always throw challenges your way. Heartbreaks, disappointments, setbacks, and losses. You can't stop storms from coming, but you can decide how you face them. The difference between people who rise and people who fall isn't the size of the storm. It's the strength of their mindset. You see, circumstances are temporary, but your response determines whether you grow stronger or stay broken. You can't always choose what happens to you, but you can choose what happens within you. That's where true power lives, in your ability to stay calm, think clearly, and choose faith. When fear is trying to break in, negative thinking habits take over. When something bad happens, the first reaction most people have is panic or anger. They let their emotions take over and their thoughts spiral out of control. But the truth is, your mind is your first line of defense. When you control your thoughts, you control your emotions. And when you control your emotions, you control your actions. The people who master their response are the ones who transform adversity into advantage. They take what was meant to break them and use it as fuel to rise high. That kind of strength doesn't come from luck. It comes from a disciplined mind that knows how to choose peace over panic. Think about it. Every time something negative happens, you have two choices. You can focus on the problem or you can focus on the solution. You can let your thoughts dwell on what's going wrong, or you can start thinking about what you can learn and how you can move forward. Your thoughts shape the meaning you attach to any event. For example, one person loses a job and thinks my life is over. Another person loses a job and thinks this is my chance to start something new. The same situation, but two completely different outcomes. All because of how they chose to think. That's the power of controlling your response. Life isn't fair. It never has been and it never will be. But the people who win in life are the ones who learn how to take control of their reactions. You can't stop someone from mistreating you, but you can stop their actions from controlling your mind. You can't prevent failure, but you can prevent it from defining you. Every time you respond with patience instead of anger, hope instead of fear, and gratitude instead of bitterness, you take back your power. Because the moment you let negativity control your mind, you hand over your peace. And peace is something you should never give away easily. Even in the darkest seasons of life, you have the ability to think your way toward the light. That's what faith really is. Believing in a better outcome even when you can't see it yet. When your circumstances are chaotic, your thoughts must stay disciplined. Train your mind to focus on what you can do, not on what's beyond your control. Because worry changes nothing, but the right mindset changes everything. Every successful person you've ever admired has faced pain and loss, but what separated them was their inner dialogue. While most people say this is impossible, they said somehow I'll find a way. Your response through thought is what keeps you moving when life tries to hold you back. It's what shifting from doubt to determination keeps you calm when others are falling apart. It's what gives you the clarity to make good decisions when everything around you feels uncertain. When you start mastering your thoughts, you begin mastering your life. The storms won't stop coming, but they won't shake you the same way anymore. You'll realize that control isn't about changing everything outside of you. It's about managing what's inside of you. Your thoughts are your anchor, your compass, and your shelter. Once you learn to control them, nothing outside of you can destroy your peace, your purpose, or your progress. Replace fear and negativity with faith, gratitude, and self-belief. Those three things, faith, gratitude, and belief. Fear and negativity are like poison. They enter your mind quietly, and before you know it, they paralyze your potential. They whisper that you're not good enough, that your dreams are too big, that success isn't meant for you. But the moment you replace those thoughts with faith, faith in God, faith in yourself, and faith in the process, your whole world starts to shift. See, fear focuses on what could go wrong, but faith focuses on what could go right. Negativity looks at what's missing, but gratitude celebrates what's already there. Self-belief says, I may not have it all figured out, but I know I'll find a way. When you start operating with faith, you begin to see opportunities where others see obstacles. Faith doesn't mean everything will be easy. It means you trust that everything will make sense in time. It's the mindset that says, I might not understand why this is happening, but I know it's preparing me for something greater. Fear tries to stop you, but faith pushes you forward. You can't hold both in your mind at the same time. One has to go. Every time you choose faith, you're choosing progress. Every time you choose gratitude, you're choosing peace. And every time you choose self-belief, you're choosing power. Gratitude is another key that changes everything. When you're grateful, you stop complaining about what's missing and start appreciating what's working. Gratitude doesn't mean you ignore your problems. It means you refuse to let them define your mindset. It's a daily reminder that even in the middle of difficulty, there's something to be thankful for. Maybe it's your health, your family, your strength, or even just another chance to try again. The more you practice gratitude, the less room negativity has to live in your mind. You can't be grateful and angry at the same time. One emotion will always cancel out the other. Gratitude lifts you to a higher frequency where peace, clarity, and creativity thrive. Then comes self-belief, the foundation of every great success story. You can have talent, you can have opportunity, but if you don't believe in yourself, none of it matters. Self-belief isn't arrogance. It's self-respect. It's looking in the mirror and saying, I'm capable, I'm chosen, and I deserve good things. Life will test that belief over and over again. People will doubt you, circumstances will challenge you, and sometimes even you will question your own worth. But if you let those doubts take root, they'll destroy your dreams. Training your mind for success before they even begin. You have to be your own biggest believer when no one else sees what you see. Replacing fear and negativity with faith, gratitude, and belief doesn't happen overnight. It's a daily choice. Every morning, you get to decide what kind of energy you're bringing into the world. Are you going to think in fear or are you going to think in faith? Are you going to complain or are you going to be thankful? Are you going to doubt yourself or are you going to believe that you built for greatness? The quality of your thoughts determines the quality of your life. You see, when you walk with faith, you begin to trust timing instead of forcing outcomes. When you live with gratitude, you start to attract more of what you appreciate. And when you stand in self-belief, you become unstoppable. That combination will take you further than talent, money, or luck ever could because faith gives you direction. Gratitude gives you peace, and self-belief gives you the strength to keep moving forward even when the path gets hard. Once you replace fear and negativity with those three forces, you stop surviving life. You start creating it. And that's when transformation truly begins. Your imagination is a divine preview of what's possible, protected fiercely. Everything you see in your life today once began as a thought in someone's mind. The clothes you wear, the car you drive, the phone in your hand, all of it started in the imagination of someone who refused to let go of their vision. That's how powerful imagination is. It's not just daydreaming or wishful thinking. It's the first stage of creation. God gave you imagination as a tool to see beyond your current circumstances. When you imagine, you're not escaping reality. You're designing a better one. But the danger is when you let fear, doubt, or negativity take control. They'll destroy your imagination before it even has a chance to grow. You have to protect your imagination like your most valuable treasure, 'cause it is. The enemy of progress isn't failure, it's disbelief. When you stop imagining, you stop growing. When you stop seeing what's possible, you start accepting what's ordinary. Imagination is what gives you the courage to step out of the box, to see something bigger for yourself, and to believe that you deserve more than what you've settled for. If you can't picture it in your mind, you'll never hold it in your hands. Every success, every achievement, every dream realized began with someone daring to imagine something different. I remember when I didn't have much, no money, no comfort, no security, but what I did have was vision. I imagined myself on stage speaking to thousands of people. I saw myself making people laugh, inspiring others, and living a life of purpose. It wasn't my reality yet, but it was my imagination that kept me alive during the darkest days. I didn't let my environment limit what I could see in my mind. Even when my life didn't look like my dream, I kept believing in what I imagined. And you know what? The more I held that image, the more life started moving me toward it. That's not coincidence. That's the law of vision in motion. You have to understand, imagination is the language of faith. When you imagine something and believe it's possible, you're giving life permission to start aligning things in your favor. But the world will try to destroy that imagination. People will laugh at your why thoughts become things dreams. They'll tell you to be realistic, to settle, to stay where you are. But realistic people rarely change the world. The dreamers, the visionaries, the ones who dare imagine, they're the ones who move mountains. So don't let anyone talk you out of your vision just because they can't see what you see. They weren't given your imagination for a reason. It's yours to protect, not theirs to understand. You've got to be careful about what you allow into your mind. What you watch, what you listen to, and who you surround yourself with all feed your imagination. If you constantly consume negativity, you'll start imagining failure. But if you fill your mind with hope, inspiration, and faith, you'll start imagining possibilities. Your imagination can be your greatest weapon or your biggest weakness. It all depends on how you use it. So feed it with light. Keep your vision in front of you even when life feels dark. The moment you start imagining something better, a stronger relationship, a healthier body, a successful future, you've already begun the process of creation. Hold that vision close. Speak life into it. Protect it from the noise of the world and the whispers of doubt, because your imagination is sacred. It's your connection to the life you're meant to live. Don't let fear rob you of what faith showed you in your mind. If you can imagine it, believe it, and act toward it, sooner or later, it will become your reality. That's the divine power within you, the gift of imagination. Transformation begins when your mindset aligns with your vision and purpose. Everything in life starts with a thought, but real change happens only when your thinking matches what you're aiming for. You can dream all day, but if your mindset doesn't line up with that dream, you'll never move toward it. The truth is, your life can only rise to the level of your mindset. You can't think small and live big. You can't think like a victim and expect to experience victory. Transformation isn't about changing your situation first. It's about changing your thinking first. Once your thoughts are in harmony with your goals, your actions naturally start to follow and your life begins to shift in that direction. Many people want success, happiness, love, and peace, but they think in a way that contradicts what they want. They want abundance, but constantly talk about lack. They want love, but dwell on pain. They want opportunity, but focus on fear. Your mindset is the steering wheel of your destiny. It decides where your life goes. When your thoughts and your vision are out of sync, it's like pressing the gas and the brakes at the same time. You're moving but not going anywhere. Steve Harvey's secret to mental discipline. But when your mind and your vision are aligned, there's a flow. You begin to attract the right people, see the right doors, and make the right choices without even forcing it. You have to start thinking in a way that supports the life you want, not the life you're trying to leave behind. If you want to grow, your mind has to grow first. That means letting go of limiting beliefs, self-doubt, and excuses that no longer serve you. You can't step into your new season with your old mindset. You can't see opportunity if you keep thinking from a place of fear. You have to train your mind to believe that you are worthy of the vision you've been given. Because purpose without belief will always remain a dream. Once your mindset aligns with your purpose, you stop chasing things and start attracting them. You stop forcing success and start flowing with it. You start waking up every morning with a sense of direction because your thoughts, actions, and intentions all move in the same rhythm. You no longer let temporary failure shake your faith because your mind is focused on the bigger picture. You begin to understand that setbacks are part of the setup. Every delay is shaping you for what's coming. That's the kind of clarity that alignment brings. It's like tuning the radio. If your frequency doesn't match the station you want, you'll only hear static. The same goes for your mindset. You can't tune into success while thinking in fear. You can't tune into love while holding bitterness. You can't tune into growth while believing you're stuck. When your thoughts match your purpose, everything becomes clearer. The noise fades, and you start hearing the guidance that's been there all along. Transformation isn't about luck or timing. It's about alignment. When you think differently, you begin to live differently. You speak differently, act differently, and respond differently. You start making decisions from faith, not fear. You stop waiting for life to change and realize that the power to change it has been inside you all along. The moment your mindset aligns with your purpose, the universe begins to rearrange itself to match that energy. That's when transformation becomes unstoppable, not because you forced it, but because your mind, heart, and actions are finally moving as one. That's the moment when your life starts reflecting the greatness that's been within you all along. Control your thoughts daily. They are the seeds of the future you're creating. Every single thought you think plants something inside your mind. Over time, those thoughts grow into habits, beliefs, and eventually your reality. Just like a farmer decides what to grow by the seeds he plants, you decide the direction of your life by the thoughts you allow to take root. If you constantly think negative, fearful, and hopeless thoughts, you'll keep living a life that reflects that energy. But if you fill your mind with faith, confidence, and vision, your future will start to bloom with blessings. That's why controlling your thoughts isn't a one-time act. It's a daily discipline. What you think today, final words of wisdom, becomes what you live tomorrow. Every day, your mind is being shaped by what you feed it. The news you watch, the conversations you engage in, the people you listen to, and the beliefs you repeat to yourself, all of that becomes the soil your thoughts grow in. So you have to be intentional about what you allow inside. If you don't take control of your mind, someone or something else will. The world is full of negativity. And if you're not careful, that energy will start to live in your thoughts. That's why you got to guard your mind like it's gold. When a negative thought enters, don't let it stay there, Rentre. Replace it with something powerful, something rooted in faith and possibility. Your thoughts are the beginning of every action. Before you do anything, you think it first. That's why it's so important to train your mind to think in alignment with the life you want. If you think with discipline, your actions will reflect discipline. If you think with faith, your life will reflect faith. Every breakthrough, every transformation starts with a thought that says, I can do this. I will find a way. I am capable. You can't wait until you feel ready. You have to think ready. You can't wait until everything is perfect. You have to think perfect before it arrives. Your thoughts are the foundation on which your future is built. So make sure they're strong. When you start controlling your thoughts, you start controlling your emotions. You stop reacting to every little thing that happens around you. You start responding with clarity instead of chaos. That's the difference between people who stay calm in the storm and people who fall apart. It's not that one has fewer problems, it's that one has more control over their mind. The world will test your peace, but your thoughts can protect it. Every morning you need to decide, I'm not letting negativity take over today. I'm not letting worry run my mind. I'm choosing to think positive, stay focused, and trust the process. That choice repeated daily will transform your life. Control doesn't mean perfection. You'll still have bad days, still face doubt and frustration, but when your thoughts are trained, those moments won't last long. You'll catch yourself quicker, shift your focus faster, and remind yourself that you have power over your mind. You'll start recognizing when fear tries to sneak in and replace it with faith. You'll start noticing when comparison tries to drain you and replace it with gratitude. That's what daily mental control looks like. It's not about avoiding negativity. It's about not letting it stay. Every successful, peaceful, fulfilled person you've ever admired learned how to control their thoughts. They don't let emotions drive for them. They let purpose guide. And that's the key. Your thoughts should serve your goals, not sabotage them. Each day you take control of your mind. You build momentum toward the life you're meant to live. The seeds you plant in your thoughts today will grow into the results you see in your future. So be careful what you think, because your mind is the soil of your destiny. Plant hope, plant faith, plant gratitude, and watch your life blossom into something extraordinary.